It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape is being brought to you in part by the Marine Industries Association of Palm Beach County, Boating, the Lifestyle of Palm Beach County, and by Stella Marine, a crest above the rest, and by Ocean Marine, manufacturers of worldwide excellence in marine air conditioning.
Welcome to ShipShape, the Boat Improvement Show. I'm your host, John Greviskis, and this is my partner, the trailer tip tech man himself, Burt Dell.
Howdy, folks.
We're on location today at Trailer Depot in Lake Park, Florida. And today's show's a good one, trailer examination. We're going to show you some simple things to look for to correctly evaluate a used trailer.
In some cases, it makes sense to recondition a used trailer.
In other cases, it's an absolute waste of time and money.
We're doing today's show thanks to Larkin Hall.
Larkin wrote us asking us to cover this particular topic. If you have a project you'd like us to cover, write us a letter or send us a fax.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, 33420. Or you can fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
And if we use your suggestion on the show, you'll receive one of these official ShipShape t-shirts, just like Burt's wearing. Burt, can you turn around and show everybody what the shirt looks like? Come on, buddy. Before we can dive into today's project, we need to take this short break. Come on, Burt, you can turn around now.
No more frozen snaps and zippers with the SureHold Snap Stick. The easy-to-apply wax is specifically designed to lubricate snaps, zippers, and other mechanical fasteners that are susceptible to corrosion. Add protection and lubricate valuable parts in just a matter of seconds. Stop fighting with snaps and zippers and add a quick dab of water-resistant SureHold Snap Stick. SureHold, clean and simple.
With us today is Leo Esposito, the owner of Trailer Depot. Leo, welcome to ShipShape.
It's a pleasure to be on the show, John.
You know Burt Dell.
I sure do.
I understand at Trailer Depot you have a checklist that you go over to evaluate used trailers.
Sure we do.
Great, I brought a friend of mine's trailer with me and I was wondering if you would take a look at it and see if it's worth fixing.
Okay, let's go. All right, the first item that we'll go over that's on our checklist is the coupler. Coupler here, checking the latch mechanism, seems to be okay. It's operating smoothly. How is it coming on and off the ball?
When I put it on the ball this morning, it was very tight going on.
Okay, so you might need a new, you could either purchase just a mechanism, but looking over the coupler itself, it's rusted and it is just bolted on, which makes it easy to remove and replace. So it's probably a good idea to replace the whole mechanism, the whole coupler itself.
All right.
So put that on our list here, make a check next to that. Next would be our safety chains. The chains themselves look good, but the bolt that holds them to the tongue
Looks a little beat up.
Exactly. So these are things that you want to follow and check on your checklist, and definitely something we would want to replace. So safety chains are okay. but the safety chain hardware is something
needs to be replaced then.
Exactly.
All right.
Next, how's the jack functioning?
The jack seemed to be working fine, up and down. I mean, up, down.
Okay, because there are kits, you can replace the gears inside of this type of jack by just removing the cap and purchasing a kit.
Right. The only thing I noticed was there's a flat spot on the wheel, but other than that,
Okay.
the jack was fine.
The wheel is not an expensive item, and that is easy to replace as well. We'll make a note of that on our list.
All right.
Next on our list is the winch. How is this operating?
Actually, it's kind of bound up. The cable itself is rusted to it.
Right.
Seems to be.
Okay. And the mechanism here looks fine. The spring looks good, which is another component that could be replaced. But in this case, I think the only thing needed is a winch cable.
So you just put a new cable on it, winch it, wrap it back up itself.
Exactly. Depending on what you prefer, you could either put a galvanized cable on this or even a strap, a nylon strap. The strap is a lot neater and it's also easy to install. The V-block here, this is also in good condition. A lot of times, is this making any marks on the hull, the black V-block here?
Yeah, his boat does have some streaks on the bow of it where it comes
Okay.
up and hits her. We noticed that, it's been leaving a lot of marks on the front of his boat.
Okay, to repair that, if you wanted to, this could be changed to a poly type of roller, usually found in the clear or the yellow. That's easy to replace. But right now, the most important thing is the winch cable.
Okay.
All right, so I'll make note of that. Moving back here is additional hardware and the rollers. The rollers, seems like you have all the rollers on this trailer, but the hardware, some of it's rusted, some of your hog rings and your washers. What we can do is we'll go through the trailer, we'll count up how many of those items you need, and we'll figure out exactly how many need to be replaced.
Right.
Okay. Other than that, the hardware on the frame here looks good, although some of the bolts holding the roller assembly in place probably needs replacing. So we'll also go through and count them up.
Okay.
Moving rearward, we're going to be looking at the hubs and the wheel bearings. And it's hard to do with the hub on, but the condition of the hub, the external condition of the hub looks fine. The lug nuts themselves definitely need replacing because of the corrosion. But the only way we're going to really know what the hub is like is by taking it apart.
Pulling it out.
And inspecting it, exactly.
And you do want to replace those lug nuts?
Yes, for sure. If you had any breakdown or whatever, you want to make it easy for someone to be able to remove the tire and wheel.
Be trying to take those lugs off on the side of the road would be a job.
You wouldn't be able to, probably.
No,
Exactly. Another thing that you want to do is check your tires, the tread, the wear on it, also the inflation. Make sure it's holding air and that they're always at the proper inflation. A lot of times the tires do have a different pressure than with a car tire, for example. So something that you definitely want to check, and we'll check once.
So these are definitely not car tires then, they're
This is an actual trailer tire, exactly. It's designed differently. It'll handle the weight of the boat better.
Okay.
And it has additional plies than maybe a regular car tire would.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we'll definitely check that, and we'll check our tire pressure. Okay. Next, looking over or behind or under the frame is our springs and additional hardware. This is probably the most common item, along with an axle or the axle, that needs to be checked or monitored so you can replace it when needed. These have surface rust.
It looks pretty thick, pretty scaly.
Right. What you're going to do here is your hardware is questionable. We're going to want to replace that. And normally when you take this apart, you would replace your spring as well. Springs are not that expensive. This way, you don't have to do the work twice.
Right.
Once you're in
Once
there,
you got it apart, you might as well go ahead and put a new set of springs in there.
Exactly. And at the same time, if any of the hardware holding the spring in place needs replacing, that's when you'll do that as well.
Yeah, the springs do look, because you can even see it looks like it's swelling in between the leaves itself, like it's
Right.
starting to separate.
Right, that's what we need to look for to see if there's any cracking here.
Mm-hmm. Do they break much?
The leaves will break,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. Here I don't see any that are broken, but commonly if you look at it closely, you'll see that the spring itself could start to flatten out. I think that's what we're seeing here is a little flattening out more than actual breaking.
So they're not as bad. They're not as bad, but it would be a good thing to change them now.
Definitely, it's going to give you the proper arc to it.
Right.
And you don't want to have any breakdowns with that. In addition to that, what can be checked are the next on our list are the lights. We have a vehicle hooked up to it, and the housings look good. But what we need to do is actually open the light up, look at the inside, make sure that everything's working.
Right. Do you get much corrosion in the sockets with these lights, or?
You do. You need to have a submersible light, which these are. These are easy to work with. The insert slides out. As long as the housing itself isn't cracked, as this one doesn't appear to be, then it's going to hold the air, which prevents the water from getting in. So this looks good.
So you sell the inside or the inner workings of the light. As long as the housing is okay, then you can replace anything inside that just corroded or whatever then, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
What you're going to need to do, like I said, is usually we first test the vehicle, make sure the vehicle is operating fine.
Right. And
then we'll go ahead, make sure your trailer's working. But we could also, like I said, look at the insert, make sure there's no corrosion. And then this way you know that you won't have any problems in the near future. As far as the frame goes and your cross members, they look very good. And you wouldn't be replacing them.
They're pretty stout.
Right. It's a strong trailer. There really isn't any rust on the frame of this trailer at all. It looks very good, and basically just some of the wear and tear parts, such as your hardware, is what we would be, replacing at this time, and something we'll check off on the checklist.
So the bulk of the trailer seems to be in fairly decent shape then.
Yeah, it seems to be in very good shape, yes.
Good, good.
Another thing you want to check are your trailer, the tie downs. Now this one here is actually built into the frame, and you can see it's good and strong. This is the part that'll hold the boat with the strap.
The strap that goes across the back?
Exactly.
Okay.
Or from the transom to the frame to hold the boat to the trailer. A lot of times the tie downs are maybe just an eye bolt that's actually not a part of the frame and not galvanized. Those will corrode and not be strong. In this case, though, this is an excellent condition, so that's fine.
Okay, great. Don't want to lose our boat.
Exactly. Another thing commonly we would check now are brakes. This unit doesn't have brakes, but we would also need to take that apart, look into it to see what our brakes are looking like.
So if we had trailer brakes, that's the thing that y'all do. Y'all tear them down, check them out, see if they need to be rebuilt or whatever the case may be on them.
Exactly, and just an external look at it isn't enough. You need to get that hub apart, and you need to look at the brake components. But here we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Well, guys, is she worth fixing up?
Well, there's quite a few things wrong with her, but I've made a list, so why don't you take it into Gene and see if it's worth fixing.
Good idea. But first, this short break from our sponsors.
Stay on course. ShipShape will be right back.
Do it all with a SureHold telescoping handle. Designed with the easy-to-use SureLock quick release system, compatible with over 50 different attachments, transforming it into a deck brush handle, squeegee handle, swivel pad base handle, chamois mop handle, camera handle, floor broom handle, boat hook handle, water blade handle, landing net handle, even a threaded handle for equipment you already own, and more. Fully telescopic for easy storage or adjusting to the perfect length. Each SureHold telescoping handle is proudly made in the USA and is truly the one handle that does it all. SureHold. Clean and simple.
Well, Gene, we have a list of what's wrong with our trailer. I was hoping you could help us figure out how much it would take to fix her up.
Sure, let me know what you need.
First thing we're going to need is a coupler. What are we talking about price-wise there?
$14 just for the part.
That's very inexpensive. Now, Burt wrote down here the bolt to the safety chain.
That's insignificant, about $1 with the nut and bolt.
Nothing, okay. Winch cable. Leo was talking about difference between wire and putting in a strap.
Right.
Is there a price consideration between the two?
No, comparable as far as the price is concerned, but up to 3,500 pounds, the strap seems to be a lot neater. It lasts longer, it doesn't bind, it won't rust. So for the money, and you have a 3,500 pound capacity trailer, I would go with the strap.
Let's go with that, okay. Bearings.
Bearings. How are the lug nuts on the hub? Did he
Very
mention that?
rusted. Burt
They're
says
rusted,
we need
so-
those too.
Okay, we might have to destroy them. There's a possibility of destroying the studs, so I would recommend going with hubs.
Price-wise, what are we talking about?
The kits, when you buy them individually, when you have to buy the kit, you got to buy the lug nuts. It's most likely going to be almost the same amount of money. But with the hub, everything's going to be brand new, and the seats are, everything's in there. It'd be around $2,750 for the entire
Let's go
hub.
that route.
Okay.
I've got written down here bracket hardware. What are we talking about here?
Bracket hardware, you're talking about $10 for that.
Insignificant. Springs and the spring hardware. Now this seems to me like it's going to start running some money for this trailer.
True, it always looks that way, but springs are really not that expensive for the importance of the part of the trailer that it is. The springs are generally run between $15 and $20. On that size trailer, I would say you're looking at about $16 each.
That's it?
Just for the springs.
It's unbelievable. Roller hardware. There are quite a few rollers on our trailer.
Right. There it could start to add up a little bit because,
Okay.
like you say, there are quite a few rollers. The hardware will be most likely the bushing, the washer, the hog tie. You're looking at about $5 per roller, and I think there's like around 20 rollers on that
So
trailer.
about $100
About
for all
$100,
that.
right.
Lights. We're going to need the innards to the lights.
The inside.
They're
the-
submersible ones?
Right. They're $8.50 each.
Okay, not bad, not bad. This is where we're going to be in the problems. The tires, the tread's fine, but the sides are dry rotting.
Okay, common in Florida. They
Okay.
will dry rot because of the sun. Important to have good tires. Safety feature there. I mean, it definitely should have good tires. On that trailer, you're looking at about $51 each just for the tires.
Okay. Now, tire pressure comes into a real factor here with the tires. Is that
Very important
correct?
because these are bias tires as opposed to car tires, which are non-biased. You'll find that these are trailer service tires, so the pressure is going to be a lot more than on a regular car tire.
Okay. Dollar-wise, just for the parts, what are we looking at to fix this trailer up?
We're looking at $350.
About
the
$350.
parts.
Okay. Now, if you did the labor on the trailer,
Okay.
what would we be talking about?
You're looking at about $460 with
Okay.
labor.
Now, Gene, if we went out and we bought a new trailer, price-wise, what are we looking at saving by restoring it?
That trailer, comparable today, would run at least $1,000.
So there's quite a price consideration when we're talking about restoring this trailer. Now, this trailer will be just as good as new once we've put all this hardware on and we're ready to go with it.
Right. Right. The frame is in very good condition, so that's basically the most important part of the trailer. And now you're replacing most of the undercarriage, which gets the beating from the salt. I think you'll be fine, most likely, for the next 5 or 6 years.
Fantastic. Gene, thanks again for being on Ship Shape.
John, it's a pleasure.
Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Don't float away. Ship Shape. We'll be right back.
The SureHold One Bucket System is your storage and detailing solution. Featuring an ergonomic corrosion-free rope handle, a bucket caddy to organize your supplies and lift them out with ease, a bucket grate to elevate your wash tools out of dirty water with integrated soap measuring cups, a bucket base that won't let your bucket scratch, tip, or slip, and a bucket lid that keeps tools secure and doubles as a comfortable seat. The SureHold One Bucket System, the world's best rope handle 5-gallon bucket. SureHold, clean and simple.
I'm here again today at Stella Marine in Saltville Harbor in Palm Beach Gardens, and with me is the owner of Stella Marine, Bob Stella. Bob, welcome to Ship Shape.
Okay, John, welcome aboard the Shamrock.
We have one killer fishing vessel today, the 26-foot Shamrock Stalker. Bob, tell us about this boat. This is incredible.
Well, this is a great boat, as I'm sure, I took you through it a few minutes ago. This is a unique boat. It's got an inboard engine. This happens to be diesel, and it has a direct shaft with a keel drive. You can actually take this boat and gun coal it, which is what the old sailboat term is, and your prop is protected under the keel. A lot of people worry about how can I tilt the engine up. You really don't have to. You're in 22 inches of water. That's the draft. And you can run as lower than that.
That's fantastic. The nice feature about this this boat is the diesel fuel efficiency. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Bob?
This is called our long-range cruiser. I kind of gave it that term. Besides having a Palm Beach look, the serious fishermen, to get to the fishing grounds and not to spend a lot of money, this boat will go over 500 miles. She'll burn around 4 gallons an hour.
Fantastic.
Very efficient.
Incredible. Now, a comparable sized boat, if you had twin outboards on the back, what are we talking about
You're burning anywhere from 20 to 24 gallons an hour with outboards.
Unbelievable. So there's a real price savings when you're talking about this inboard engine.
There's a price savings, and then when you go to resell it, the resale ability on an inboard, diesel of course, is tremendous against outboards.
I can really see that. Now, over here, we have a total access to this engine. We have a 360-degree access to this engine. That is one nice feature.
It's a great feature, you know, and if this was a gas engine, of course, almost any handyman could work on it with ease. Where it's a diesel engine, there's really not a lot to do. Put oil in it, put fuel in it, and you go, you know? So the maintenance factor is very, very little.
One of the neat things about this boat is the center console as well as having a cuddy cabin. That's
right.
A real unique thing. I don't see that a whole lot.
No, and what it does, it satisfies the man who wants a center console, and it satisfies the wife who wants the cabin for whatever.
My wife and myself have the same argument, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I noticed the bait station here.
Yeah.
This is an incredible feature. The reason being is I have fallen into a lot of bait wells, Bob, and skinned up my shins. I've ruined a lot of goggle eyes. This is nice. All you have to do is reach in here. It's right at waist level. This is a complete fishing station back here.
Sure is. What you've got is a rocket launcher, leaning post, and a live bait well. You've also got another live bait well in the rear.
Right.
A strip bed station in the rear.
So basically, we can fish a couple of different baits from this boat, and keeping our baits fresh. Maybe we could have shrimp back here, goggle eyes up there. We've got all of our. This is for cut bait.
Right.
These compartments back here. This is really laid out. I mean, you've got the pad here. This is for the serious fisherman.
Sure is. You notice there's no cleats back here.
Right.
To catch your lines. Everything, all your cleats are down
Coming
below.
through, right.
Coming through your house pipes.
That really makes sense. The top, I noticed, is this custom?
It's a custom top. Burt Dell made this top, and this is really made well for this boat. It really has the proper attitude and gives it the elegance as such as it should have.
Well, speaking of Burt Dell, we're doing next week's show about actually putting in one of the Burt Dell towers.
Oh, they're very good.
One of the tops. That's fantastic. What other features do we have in this boat, Bob?
Well, of course, you got your fish boxes up forward.
Okay,
Two
let's
large
take a
fish
look.
boxes. They're insulated.
Okay.
Okay.
Very nice. Now those go quite a ways back there.
They sure do.
Now, what do we have up here with the tackle?
Well, up here in front of the engine, of course, after your accessibility, you've got your tackle station.
Right.
You have your extra tackle. You've got a console cooler up forward. Putting in some cold drinks, put them on ice.
Bob, this is one nice boat, the 26-foot Shamrock Stalker. Price-wise, what are we talking about on this boat?
This boat is priced out in the 50s with gasoline, and it's priced out in the $60,000 range with diesels.
Well, Bob, this is sure one sweet vessel. Again, I can't thank you enough for being on ShipShape.
Okay, thank you for having us.
Until next time.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob. Well, thanks for watching ShipShape. I hope you enjoyed the show.
And tune in next week. I think you'll really enjoy our topic.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.